Hello students and welcome to the class. I am a history teacher Manoj Arora. Today we will be revising the chapter. In the last video I had already finished up the chapter till it is coming, till page number 274. Today I am going to revise this chapter in a nutshell, that what are the various things given in the chapter, and with the next video we'll start the new chapter. But before I start the chapter, I hope you all will be fine at your homes, taking care of your family as well as yourself. Just to remind you again that this chapter is coming from page number 257 to page number 274. Let us see the topics: Bengal and the Zamindars. The Britishers, as the chapter says, colonialism and the countryside. The Britishers, when they came to Bengal, Bengal became an experimental place where they started the permanent settlement. According to permanent settlement, the revenue of the place was decided for next 15 to 20 years without changing it. With this, the Britishers would be getting the flow of revenue without any constraint, without any restraint, without any up and down. They wanted a definite flow of revenue. But in order not to have any kind of future loss, in that anticipation, they had kept this initial demand very high. The Zamindars, because the reason what I told, because of this only, the Zamindars defaulted in payments. Many of the farmers or the peasants, they were not able to pay such a high rent. As a result, the Zamindar would not be able to collect the revenue and not be able to give to the Britishers. And as a result, his property was sold. He had applied a number of ways, like the fictitious sales, like transferring the property to the name of the mother or the wife, or he would have the latyals, his people who would be covering him up, supporting him up, so that the new Zamindar would not be able to take over the Zamindar. The role of the Jotdars in this, the Jotdars were living with the peasants in the village only. The Jotdars were the people, those who had around 1,000 to 2,000 acres of land. They were not great as the Zamindars, but they were much prosperous than the common peasants. When the common peasant needed money or any kind of help, Jotdars would help, as the Zamindars were living in the cities. So many of the times, there were many Jotdars who would tell the peasants not to pay the revenue, not to pay the rent to the Zamindar, so that the Zamindar would default in the payment. And whenever this Zamindari would be auctioned, most of the times these Jotdars are there, those who would buy the Zamindari from the Britishers. Fifth report, which came in 1813, as it was fifth in the row. That's why it is called fifth report. 1002 pages long report, which had 800 pages as appendix, which had the petitions filed by the peasants or the Zamindars or the landless farmers or rent issues or the revenue issues. A great report which helped the historians to a great extent. The fight of Ho and Flow, that was between the Pahadias and the Santals. The Pahadias were the people, those who were ferocious by nature, those who would be having shifting agriculture, those who would not stay at place, and at times when they had the lack of resources, they would attack the settled villages. In this way, the Zamindars tried to have a kind of settlement with the Pahadia chiefs so that they would not attack their villages. But these settlements, these agreements were quite fragile. Even in order to control them, the Britishers had applied various policies. The policy of extermination in 1770 and the policy of pacification in 1780 by Augustus Cleveland. These all policies were somewhere brought Pahadias to their knees. But still they did not accept the defeat. In order to give the final jerk, that final push, the Santals were brought. The Santals in every way were the ideal settlers. They settled at one place, they had removed the forest, turned the land into agricultural field, provided the revenue. But at the end, these Santals, who were very happy with Dominiko, the land to which they belonged to, the land which they were waiting for years, the land which had finished their journey, this land went out of their hands also. If the Pahadiyas did not get the land, the Santals also did not get the land either. And because of that, in Birbhum and the nearby areas of Bhagalpur and area, 5,500 square miles of area was declared as Santhal region. And in that, in 1855 to 56, there was a Santhal revolt by these people in order to get their land back. Buchanan, when he came to this place, he did not come out for love or something. His journey was totally economic. He wanted to know what kind of land it was, what kind of crop can be grown here, what kind of minerals are rich, which can be found from this place, and so on. And Buchanan was totally resisted by the Pahadiyas during that time. I hope this small revision would help you out to revive the entire chapter. Still you have got any problem, come to me in the online session tomorrow. We will discuss there if you have got any problem. Do read NCERT books, that is a must. Please write your name, class, section and roll number. That's a must. I will be able to know your attendance. Thank you very much. God bless you.